Coming up tonight, forget Kazaa. Kevin has a new underground download site. You're going to find out all about it. Plus, find out what it takes to stop a speeding bullet. And how are these week's tech bargains? We've got the real deal, folks. It's live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco. It's the Screensavers. Woo!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the show that you can count on to bring you the latest in computers, technology, and, of course, gaming.
As always, we're going to do our best to bring you a great show. Kevin's got a musical dark tip.
Yes, musical dark tip tonight, something from overseas. It's a little underground.
This is a Russian site.
It's cool.
So you've been using it.
I've been playing with it.
All of MP3.com.
I'm not going to say if I've been using it, but I've been playing with it.
Well, I don't see. Well, you know, we'll talk about that more. If you want to download MP3s, you want something a little better than what you've been using, we may have the answer. Actually, you may have the answer.
Indeed.
Plus, finally, we're going to show how bulletproof vests stop bullets. Back from our DC Week. And Morgan Webb is here today to bring us the gaming news from this year's E3 and talk about some of her most interesting games she saw.
Yes, indeed.
Exciting stuff. So we should also point out that we're going to be taping shows on Tuesdays and Fridays to air while these guys make their way down to L.A. So keep the calls coming. We need the calls. We need the net cams. The phones are open on Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And this Friday, we're taping 2 shows back-to-back. You want to be on air? Call us Friday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Just pay attention. Be good stuff.
Nice. Now, Dan, what are you up to today?
I'm getting ready for the big all-call. We got 2 of them lined up right in a row.
Are you doing all the phones that day?
Yes.
All food, all call,
all food,
all
Friday. All day. But hey, we're talking about today. The phone number is 888-989-7879. Also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. Now, I want to point out, we don't have any web forms anymore, so you have to type in our email address manually. So you can't just click on it. So you got to put it in manually, which sucks. But we'll get it corrected soon. Hopefully.
What's the email address?
Thescreensavers@techtv.com.
There you go.
Listen to what I say?
Or is it G4techtv.com?
No, it's still thescreensavers@techtv.com.
Okay.
Screensavers@techtv.com.
For sure.
Could you always say it so fast? The
Thescreensavers@techtv.com.
Exactly. We'll put that in the show notes, too.
Let's start with the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah with the cute haircut. Look at her new cute haircut.
Woo!
Pat Benatar!
Yeah! Oh, too kind, too kind. It's just bangs, you know, it's not really any different. First story, I have bad news, actually. Pesky pop-ups are not going to be stopped by many pop-up blockers, including Google's free toolbar. Sucks. Pop-ups are usually the result of JavaScript commands like OpenWin that open up when window on a page is visited. But advertisers are finding ways around those pop-up blockers by using other JavaScript commands. For example, mouse over, so that when a user mouses over an area of a page, a pop-up is triggered. Sneaky, but kind of smart, too. You know? They got to get around that stuff. Pop-up blockers.
Yeah, I noticed this. I don't know if you've seen it, Sarah, Pat. I mean,
I don't use the Google toolbar.
Use the Mozilla.
I got Mozilla. I got Firefox. I got the Google search built in.
Is it still working?
I can use any search I want, and I have no pop-ups whatsoever.
Actually, I will second that. I haven't had any pop-up problems with Firefox.
See, I use the Google toolbar because I like the IE, certain things like ActiveX things that I want to work, you know. You need IE. You need to go back to IE from time to time.
You need that to download all the updates every couple of minutes.
Exactly.
On Windows.
And I've noticed that it's not blocking them all anymore. I mean, I'm getting the pop-unders, and now that I know that you go to certain, I don't know.
You know, you could try running Firefox most of the time, and then fire up Internet Explorer when you have like a badly coded website where the ASP links don't work or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Download those Windows updates.
Yes, indeed.
But
that's too bad, though. Hopefully Google will find a way around that somehow.
I'm sure they'll patch it pretty quickly.
We'll see.
Get at it, Google.
Second story. Linksys router owners can sleep easy tonight, and for that, they can thank Cisco Systems. Cisco has released a patch for the security hole found in last week's Wi-Fi Linksys routers. Now, although the flaw was not as critical as originally thought, under rare circumstances, a hacker can gain access to your network through a backdoor using these routers. So you can download a patch if you've got the WRT54G Linksys router from linksys.com/download. Select your model number and OS, then click firmware. Should do you right good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, we reported about this last week. The WRT54G is the one that I did the Linux on Linksys conversion, where I actually flashed it. There's been a lot of problems because the whole reason that you were able to put Linux on the Linksys router is that there was a vulnerability in the ping command built into the router that you would actually use to flash the
I wonder
ROM.
if this patch will cancel out the ability to upload the Linux. That would be kind of a bummer.
But I'm sure they'll find another way in. So
yeah. Props to Cisco, who owns
Linksys.
Thank you. It's a tough word to say. Who owns Linksys for getting the patch out so quickly.
Indeed.
Third story today is really interesting. The RIAA has taken piracy crackdown to a whole new level. Biometric vendor Veritouch is working with a Swedish design company to produce the iView media player, which will unlock protected media files via a thumbprint scan. The developers claim that the technology won't allow users to make copies or share or distribute any of the locked content without that thumbprint.
Is anybody really going to buy this, though?
Right.
I would never buy an MP3 player that had to scan my thumb.
Right, so yeah, do you want to listen to files? Scan thumb.
That's lame.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's also going to be expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I can totally see it. Like the sales guys, like, you know, where can I sell more like these biometric identification units? Like, okay, NSA got it covered, major businesses got it covered, security conscious people got it covered.
So the NSA's music will be safe.
Right.
That's
well,
right.
You know, the NSA's music I think is probably already safe, but it's amazing. Like the other thing is like, how much money is that going to add to the cost of players?
It's got to add
secure
something.
this?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I don't know if you remember, but here about 5 years ago at Comdex, they had the first bio thumb readers.
Right.
And I remember seeing those
That's a
thinking,
long time ago.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. It never took off. Nobody wants to stick their thumb down just to get into their computer. They just have a quick password and they're in.
Looks like they have like the little badge cards, and when you walk close to your computer, automatically logs you into that.
I thought
computer.
that was cool.
It's a cool idea.
I kinda
until
like that.
You work in a place where there's 7 computers all lined up at a desk, and you like log into each one as
As
you
you're
walk
walking by. Yeah.
I don't know.
You're
not going to buy one. I'm not going to buy
gonna-
one. We don't think a lot of you guys are going to buy biometric MP3 players. It's such a bizarre concept. Ah, well. Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome. That was some depressing news.
Yes, it was.
Like stupid thumbprint, stupid pop-up blocker, stupid Cisco.
Links is fixed. Yay.
Let's talk about that. Jason. Hello, Jason.
What's up?
What's up? Where are you
Yeah,
calling
Heard
from?
that in a while.
What are you guys up to?
Not much. Are you in Bow, New Hampshire?
I am in Bow, New Hampshire.
Is
How'd
it
you
still
know?
cold in New Hampshire?
No, well, it wasn't bad today. Tomorrow we're going to have like 90 and humid, so
Nice.
we'll wind up to 22,000 BTUs and keep me cool.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love the AC.
Oh, thing of beauty.
It's a good thing. How can we help you today, Bob?
Well, I'm familiar with the Linksys and D-Link Wi-Fi products. I'm looking to set up a higher powered network. And I want to know where I can find reviews and resources to help me decide on this stuff, unless you guys have recommendations, of course.
Well, the first thing when you say high-power network, what are you looking to do exactly? Can you give us a little more in depth? Are you looking to blast Wi-Fi to your neighbor or just in your backyard? What do you want to do?
No, this will be around the house and around the yard. I did have a wireless router before, and it didn't seem to have enough zing to get through the house.
Enough
I'm looking
zing
to
to
have a
get-
little more power.
Are you in
maybe
like a
some cards
stone
with a better
farmhouse,
front end.
Jason, or
I'm sorry, what?
are you like in a stone farmhouse, or?
No, actually, my house is a concrete construction, so all the
Okay.
rebar and whatnot.
Oh.
So basically, you live in a Faraday cage, is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Okay. One of the things you want to think about is when this is like a little Buffalo. We've seen the Linksys. One of the things you want to think about is don't think about boosting the power on this. It tends to be a very dirty solution and not a very good one. What you probably want to do is figure out a router you can put an external antenna on. The other thing you can do is you can actually use like little tiny routers as repeaters and put like one on one corner of your house and one on the other corner of your house, or you could put a repeater or a like another router. Like what I mean, if you've got like a huge house, you put one at one side, you put an external antenna, or remember that little? Did you see the 10-cent antenna I did?
Yep.
Looks
Yep, sure
ridiculous. Boosts like 11 dB. I actually doubled the amount of signal
Now-
I get in the far corner of my house.
You love tweaking out these Wi-Fi. Is it anything that he should consider, like maybe going to an 802.11a or something like that because of the longer wavelength? It can
Well,
go through walls?
802.11a is actually a shorter wavelength.
It's 5 gigahertz, right?
Right.
So
That's the higher the number
the
goes,
shorter it is.
the shorter the wavelength.
And meaning it can go through more penetration.
Actually,
though.
that means the less likely it is to penetrate. When you're talking about long-distance communications, it's usually longer. I don't know. This is the way I was taught. It's like the 5 gigahertz shouldn't penetrate as well as the shorter wavelength.
So you're telling me A does not penetrate as well as G or B?
Well, it's not supposed to, but in some tests we've had it do better. We haven't seen a whole lot of the A stuff. You could try it. I don't think it's going to do a better job. I think you're better off trying to find. I mean, what you want to do is find some of the antennas with some of the base stations with the removable antennas, Jason, and then you want to find somebody who's got a nice, 12 dBi, 18 dBi, because you're probably not in a real crowded neighborhood, right?
No, it's pretty rural out here.
So what you want to do is basically get a nice, external antenna that's got a fair amount of boost on it, like this critter that I'm holding here,
Yep.
and use the external. You'll need something called a pigtail. I don't know if you can see this up on here, but basically a pigtail is going to be adapter between the back of your box, the antenna output on the back of your box,
Yep.
and a regular cable connector, an end-style cable connector.
Yep.
I'd probably try using an external antenna, because when you start boosting the power, there's a lot of these base stations use the same chipsets. So there's not going to be much of a power difference. And two, the difference between like 100 milliwatts and 200 milliwatts is nice, but the difference between a 3 dB antenna and like a 12 dB antenna that's directional is huge.
Yeah, I'm into ham radio, so I'm familiar with all the do the antenna before the power. But I was just hoping to maybe find, because most of these boxes only do 30 milliwatts,
right?
And going to 100 or 200 is a great gain in power. So
I mean, what you could do is see if you can get a PC card adapter for your desktop and then use one of those externals. But the problem is when you use like one of the 100 milliwatt PC cards, you end up putting it in the back of your desktop box or whatever you're using as an antenna, and you end up with a really weak antenna attached to a somewhat more powerful card. So I gotta be honest with you, I try to find something that's we'll ask around. We haven't seen anything in terms of high-powered base stations.
I had a problem like this, and a simple solution that I did is I ran the Ethernet into and brought the base station to where I needed it in the house. Move your base station around and try to find the optimal place for it to where you can spread out throughout the house. That sometimes helps out a lot.
And using a repeater or a second wireless access
They
point.
get pricey. Those repeaters are a little spendy.
Some of them are some are about $100, but the other thing is you can buy another wireless access point or turn off like the router tools and an access point.
Right.
Put it over at the far corner of the house and aim it towards the back lawn, or get a directional antenna that sort of aims across the back, the South 40, if you will, Jason.
Another solution?
Yeah, good things to play around with.
Thanks for the call, Jason.
We're just getting started. We got some tips to help you find the best bargains in our real deal. And after the break, if you're an MP3 junkie, Kevin's got a dark tip that might save you insane amounts of cash. We're going to tell you all about it. Screensavers return.
Welcome back. It is time for another dark tip. You may remember a few weeks ago, we had a viewer email and asked us about a music download service. It was actually a Russian music download service. Now, you and I were both
mp3.com.
And the first time we heard it, we were just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember
like
we were
Russian download service, credit card fraud,
But the second we said that, I got a ton of emails from all different kinds of viewers saying
people are actually using it.
They use it. They love it. And I gave it a try, and I have to tell you, I was pretty blown away myself.
This is actually a not so dark tip. Looks dark, but it's actually kind of shiny.
It might be dark. We'll talk about that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is called allofmp3.com. It's actually a website that you go to. First time you go there, you're going to notice one thing. It's all in Russian. So you have to click on the English mode. It's in the upper left-hand corner.
Unless you can speak Russian.
Unless you can speak Russian, then you're good to go. But let's take a look at it here. First of all, you'll notice on the right-hand side here, let's look at all the different artists they have here. Over 4,000 different artists, close to 5,000 different artists to choose from.
I've never seen Black Flag albums available for download anywhere online. And this place actually has Damage, which is like one of the classic albums.
They do. They have a lot of hard-to-find albums that I found on here. Let's just click on, here's one I clicked on, Pink Floyd. So it takes you to the Pink Floyd site here, and it tells you who they are, the style of rock that they offer, standard music download service. And then here's all the different albums that we have to choose from. So I'm going to choose The Wall here. And it's going to take us inside of The Wall and allow us to select individual tracks that we want to download or the entire album. So here's the album here. I'll scroll down, and here's all the tracks. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, and we'll choose, let's select all songs, and then click Order Selected Songs. Now, I already have an account that I funded via PayPal. I put $50 in the account, and then take a look at here. It allows you to choose the audio format in which you want to download. So here's lossless encoding, MP3, Windows Media, OGG Vorbis, the AAC, which is MPEG-4, and another one here. We're going to click on the MP4 here, which is the AAC, and we're going to choose low quality, 128-bit AACs. I'm fine with that. We'll select that option there. And then at the bottom, it calculates exactly how much it's going to cost you to download these entire 2 albums, because this is a 2-disc set. Right. If you take a look here, it's going to say it's 76 megabytes worth of music that you're downloading. It's going to cost you 76 cents to download both albums.
So it's like a penny a megabyte.
A penny per megabyte of transfer.
So you can actually go for a higher quality and the price will go up.
Let me show you. I'm going to switch to the advanced mode here. And you can choose so many different things here, like whether you want it to be constant bit rate or variable bit rate. Here, let's go to the Let's see what lossless, different ones they have here. I'm going to click on the lossless tab up here. And lossless, of course, is not, well, it's compressing it, but it's not, you're not losing any of the information.
So we've got FLAC up there.
Yeah, let's choose FLAC here, and we'll see that now it's a 534 megabyte download, and it's going to cost you $10.
Still cheap.
Still cheap. For 2 CDs, that's really cheap. Now, the only problem here is that this is completely legal in Russia. Now, it says inside,
right.
It says in the terms and conditions, it says that you should check with, I don't understand all the legalese.
It's really funny. If you go to the home page, there's actually like a legal questions button in the upper right-hand corner.
And it tells you all about the different statutes and the different areas of code that they're citing, whether this is legal and you can download.
It's definitely legal in Russia. We know that much.
We know that for sure.
We know they want
Russia, download away.
If you speak English, they obviously want you to be a customer because they made an entire English version of the website.
They did, and a very nice one at that. But the thing is that there's so many different albums here. It's a penny per megabyte, which is insane. So that for $50, I get 5 gigs of transfer.
Which is, that's even cheaper than Walmart at 88 cents a song. Did you call the RIAA to ask them?
I did not. I haven't placed a call with them yet, although I should do that to find out what's the deal
what
on the
their
service.
opinion on it is?
I went to the RIAA's website because I figured, they might have some kind of bulletin out or listing exactly which are legit and which are actually services that you have to be, aware of. They didn't have anything posted on here. I was a little scared, a little sketchy about putting in the credit card number, so I used PayPal to pay for it because they offer PayPal as well.
There's also some options like, is it Citibank that does a one-use card?
One-use card. They'll generate a number for you if you have a Citibank account. You get a credit card number, and you can plug that in. It's only good for the one transaction. I recommend this for anybody, any type of site that you're unsure of where it's coming from and whether or not you're going to get ripped off. This way they just don't keep charging it over and over again. There's also another one-time use cards that they use for kids. I can't remember the names of them, like Go Visa or something like that, where you can. It's a disposable Visa card that you fund with through your bank account.
Or do you think you're dealing with dark people?
Yes, that should be another dark tip. But all the lyrics available online, tons of albums, definitely worth checking out. Is it completely legal? We got to look into that more. But I thought since this is such a hot topic right now, we want to let you know about it. You can check out the service yourself. You have to visit allofmp3.com.
Good stuff.
Yes, indeed.
I just got to figure out, well, you know what, how are they going to tell you're even downloading? Still to come, Kevin finds out what it takes to save lives with some amazing bullet-stopping technology. And up next, get some great bargain hunting tips. It's the real deal. We're going to tell you all about how to shop when the screensavers continue.
We're only 3 days away from the Screensavers LAN party.
Powered by NVIDIA.
The game is Battlefield 1942, the Desert Combat Mod version .7. It's got all new maps, weapons, and even a couple of bug fixes. So if you've had problems in the past, you may want to give this version a try. And to register, go to g4techtv.com/LAN party and click on the Register for our LAN party link. Now, don't forget, you need the full version of Battlefield 1942 to play. We will see you Thursday for the Screensavers LAN party.
And if you haven't downloaded that mod, start downloading today.
Big download.
Big mod.
Dial-up, not going to happen.
No, that would be bad. Brian joins us on the phone from Morgantown, West Virginia. How you doing, Brian?
I'm fine, guys. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
How can we help you today?
Okay, I'm trying to set up my DV camera as a netcam, but I've tried a couple of the drivers. One was from Orange Micro, the other called DV Driver. Mm-hmm. And using the trial version, it looks very choppy.
Uh-huh. So you tried out Webcam DV from Orange Micro?
Yes.
And it didn't work?
It works,
okay.
But it's like one frame every 2 or 3 seconds, at least through Yahoo. I'm just wondering, would I be better off with a dedicated webcam rather than trying to fudge a DV camera?
So what are you using a Yahoo, netcam or video conferencing client?
Yes, a messenger software, right?
Right. I'm just Messenger is the one that I know that I've got.
Right.
What kind of connection do you have, Brian?
DSL.
Okay. What kind of machine do you have?
It's a 2.6 Pentium 4 with a gig of RAM.
Yeah, the machine's fast enough. We've actually found out a lot of times the speed of the machine made a much bigger difference than the actual broadband connection. We've seen faster machines on dial-up lines deliver better quality video than a slower machine on a broadband connection. I'm wondering, though, Brian, have you played around with the settings? Because we've used this on some of the stuff built into Windows XP and had no problems with it. We usually end up with better quality video off of the mini DV camera. You got to run something like Webcam DV You mentioned Orange Micro. I assume that's what you're running from them because it won't natively recognize it. It's kind of weird, though. You're getting, is it like a little jerky, or you said like one frame every couple seconds?
Right. Like I said, the only one I really tried to get a picture with was Yahoo. I haven't really. I don't know if it's Yahoo is just slow or what else I can use.
I've used Yahoo in the past and had no problems whatsoever. I think it's a great client for using the video conferencing features. Are you connecting to someone that has a slower connection than you by chance, or are you just going into like the video chat rooms and trying to do things of that nature?
Right now I'm just bringing up the webcam just to see if it works.
Oh, you're not even talking about, you haven't connected to anyone. You're just talking about the preview?
Right.
Right.
Oh, wow. So
that's really wrong. The preview you see should be perfect.
It should be almost real time.
It should be fast. The color should be good. It sounds like you've either got an issue with the software installation on there or some of the drivers. You might just for fun try reloading, Windows Media. Not Windows Media, but DirectX, actually. The latest version of DirectX on there. Try re-downloading and updating Windows Media. But yeah, Brian, you should be getting, with the Orange Micro, the webcam DV, with a mini DV cam. And if you're just in preview mode, you should have perfect video on that screen, even if you scale it.
Once you connect, if you're dropping frames, that's not unusual. 1 to 2 frames a second, it's bad, but it's not unusual. But it's preview mode. You move your hand, you should see it move across the screen.
Yeah, that's a little strange, Brian. I'd say there's either something wrong, maybe the driver for your 1394, card in there, or something's wrong with some of the other software that connects your webcam software together.
Test the cam out. Take it to a friend's house, just to be sure. Plug it to a friend's computer, install the same software, see if you're running into the same issue. If you are, you might have something wrong with the cam, even though I don't know if that would be the case. But
that's
it's worth a try.
You're definitely right, Brian. Something's definitely wrong with that situation. Tough question.
Great answer to this question. Something's wrong, Brian. Hope that works out for you.
Hey.
That's right.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
It's that
He's got the software. He's got the right connection. How else are we going to do it?
That's right. We tried. We gave it our best.
It's time now for our take on the latest newspaper tech ads and the real deal. Today, though, we're not going to talk so much about newspaper tech ads, but a couple weeks ago we talked about the first, the DVD Plus R, the dual-layer drive. Sony's out, the DRU 700A. Why do you care? It's the first dual-layer DVD burner to ship. Dual-layer meaning you can get like 8.5 million bytes of information, or about 8 gigabytes of information. So, you take a look for it, right? You come up, Sony Styles, one place to shop for it. We started looking at the pricing issues on $199.99, which seems cheap for like a new burner technology, but we can probably do better than that. So we start looking around. One of my favorite places when you start looking for price comparisons, if you kick over to CNET.com, if you do a search on any product on CNET, if it's in their existing catalog, you can go up there and you do a search for it, and you can read a review on it, but what we want to see is the prices on that. So we go over to the right. Let's pull back a little bit. There we go. So you click on check prices, and it's going to pull up a whole list of, a pretty comprehensive list of places that are currently offering this for sale. Now, there's our Sony style thing. You don't know what's going on there. But if you click on price and check that at $166, $169, that's a pretty good deal. And you can get an idea, what people think of them. I'm used to seeing like a lot of lower ratings, especially if you're looking for like mini DV cams and stuff.
Right.
One of our favorite places, Price Watch. We did a search on the, again, DRU-700A. Best price we could find on there was $180. So CNET actually found a couple stores that had it for less. Price Watch is usually great if you're looking for stuff like processors, where every store on the planet has it. And just for fun, because we haven't done much of this, Frugal is the beta of Google's catalog searching system, and we're kind of pleasantly shocked because if you look at it, it's like $199. Why does this always come up? And it's like, oh wait, let's resort it over here. And let's resort it over here so it's priced low to high instead of high to low. And look, we got that back down to $166, pretty much matching the best price we found on CNET.
Now, the only problem with these, though, is that there is no media out for them yet.
Yeah, well, that's the part I was getting to next. I was going to finish talking about that.
Cut you off.
You kind of, today it is, though. The point we're going to bring up, though, is, we searched actually on all these places for media. Nobody's got media. Media's not going to be out until third quarter, which is kind of shocking, which basically means June, July, August before the media shows up. It's supposed to ship in May, still hasn't shipped. Mitsubishi doesn't know what it's going to ship, so we're kind of waiting on that one.
Also, you may want to check out Newegg. I saw a deal in there today for an NEC dual layer, $88.
Really?
Yeah. I know we haven't tested.
Do they have media?
They don't have the media, so you're still out of luck. But they're coming out.
G4TechTV.com. Click on the show notes to the ads we took a look at, along with our comments.
Excellent. Now here is Sarah with a quick tip.
That's right. Sometimes for convenience, you have to sacrifice your security. For example, in XP, documents you modify or create, or just access, or put in the recent docs section in the start menu, like this one here. You see, I've been looking in some Word documents. That's great for easy access, but now everybody knows what you've been opening. To modify this feature, right-click on the taskbar and click Properties. Then go to Customize button, hit the Advanced tab. Now, down at the bottom, you can either choose never to list my most recently opened documents, or just clear it at whatever point you're at. Keep your privacy safe, all that good stuff. Easy as, 4 clicks? Easy as 4 clicks. Now, don't go anywhere, because X-Play's Morgan Webb is going to be here to talk games with Patrick. I love having her around. And after the break, find out what makes this material so strong it can stop a speeding bullet. That's all when the screensavers continue.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, Morgan Webb from X-Play is here for a visit. She's going to tell us about the latest games from this year's E3.
Nice.
And are you having problems closing BitTorrent files? Kevin's going to help out our next caller.
We're both going to help him out.
Hey, this is a tough one.
You ever... What?
After you.
Oh, excellent. You ever wonder what kind of type of technology is involved in something like a bulletproof vest? Well, I never thought too much about it, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to find out. When I was invited by a company that actually specializes in creating that technology. Let's take a look.
It's very cool.
Whether you're in the armed forces, undercover CIA, or just work at your local Quickie Mart, you may be in need of a bulletproof vest. They're getting lighter, stronger, and a little less expensive, and Honeywell is one of the companies leading this field. So we're here to see just exactly what they do. I want to learn about bulletproof vests today, and I see that we have a lot of stuff laid out here on the table. Get really geeky with me. Can you tell me how this stuff all works?
Well, first of all, we have to start with a fiber. And the fiber is Spectra fiber, one of the world's strongest fibers. And when I say strong, if you take a strand of this material and you try to break it, it will take around somewhere between 70 and 100 pounds of strength to be able to break this.
How do you develop a material like this?
It comes from taking ethylene, which comes from oil, and polymerizing it, which is how you make plastics. Well, the key around this material is that it is ultra-high molecular weight, which means that the chain is very, very long.
So this is what is wound into this material here. It actually eventually becomes this?
Well, then what we take is, you take this fiber, which you can see is made out of a lot of individual
little
fibers.
hairs, almost like.
Now, the key is to be able to take these, and you can spread them across in a web, and then take that web and cross-ply it, fuse them together. Then you can make this material, which we call Spectra Shield.
Now, is this what actually goes inside the bulletproof vest then?
Yes, but I'm going to correct you. You can't call anything completely bulletproof.
Okay.
But certainly bullet resistant.
How many layers do you have in a plate that typically goes in one of the larger plates affixed to the chest?
Well, this one is 37 layers, which is equivalent to this. But this plate is made out of a ceramic face to break up the armor-piercing round. But the key is to have the Spectra Shield in the backing so that it disperses the energy.
Tell me what this can protect against.
Well, for typical soft armor, what you're looking at is giving you protection against handgun ammunition, such as we have the 9mm 357 Magnum here and 44 Magnum. The purpose of the test is to exploit any weakness that the armor may have.
Tell me about some military applications for your product.
The largest application we're in currently is the SAPI plate program used by the U.S. military, both the Army and the Marine Corps. And now vests in the soft form are used to stop pistol rounds or high-velocity pistol rounds, whereas plates are needed to stop high-velocity rifle rounds.
Gotcha.
So that's really the main difference. Additionally, we're used in helicopter floor armoring by the Apache helicopter. We were actually being evaluated for the Comanche helicopter before that program got killed. So anywhere where lightweight is a premium is where Spectra is used.
So we just shot some material here.
This was shot with a 9mm.
Okay.
And what we can see here
Ouch.
is that the round was defeated. The bullet impacted the armor sample here, the Spectra Shield sample, and the energy was dissipated, but some of the energy also transfers through.
Excellent. Can we cut this open and actually dig the bullet out?
Sure. You have the bullet there.
Oh, there it is.
And then we can dig it out.
Wow. Completely flattened.
And
That's
that was
amazing. So that was stopped within about the first 5 to 10 layers of the pack here. And just to give you an example of what that looked like beforehand.
Before and after.
We're shooting a SAPI plate. It's a small arms protective insert. This would be inside a vest that you would wear. And we're going to shoot it with a military round. It's called an M80 ball round, which is what's already loaded and aimed at the target. And now we'll go see what kind of damage it did.
Let's do it. So this is rated for this type of round, so there's no way that this is going to penetrate the plate whatsoever.
That's the theory, yes. We're hoping. And all it did was leave a little dent.
Wow. Can we take a look at how it impacted the clay?
Now the clay, all you have is a little dent.
It still looks like it would hurt, though.
It would hurt, yes. You'd probably be laying down after you got shot, but at least you could stand back up again.
Wow, that's amazing. Very cool. Pretty crazy. We actually have one of the rounds right here. This is the 9mm that we shot at the vest. You can see how much flattened it out as compared to the full-size round. Now, this is not, just to let you know, when you get hit with something like this, it's not like you just fall down and get back up again.
Yeah.
It's like getting kicked in the chest
I've
by
heard it's
a
like
donkey
taking a
or
baseball
something.
bat. Yeah, horse kick, baseball bat.
And it could break ribs,
but you know
depending on
what?
It hits you, it saves
I
your life.
like a broken rib over a big giant hole where my chest used to be.
I hear you.
There we are. That's cool stuff. Our next caller is having trouble closing out BitTorrent files. We're going to see if we can help him out. But up next, X-Play's Morgan Webb is here. She's going to give us a scoop on some of her fave games from E3 when Screensavers continues. Like video games every year, gamers and people who make games gather to check out the latest and greatest and show it off at E3, the gaming conference in LA. But who do we trust to tell us what's hot and what's not? X-Play's Morgan Webb is always going to have the best scoop on what we should be playing in the future, and she's brought some of the some examples of the big games. Welcome back, Morgan.
Thank you so much.
You excited? Was it good? How was E3?
E3 is exhausting. It's like everyone is trying to have speaker competition, so they're turning up their speakers as loud as possible.
It's like the only thing louder than that is if it's like the car stereo show somewhere.
And everyone's lined up to play these games. Once you actually get your hands on them, it's really amazing. Like,
but there'll be like 40 people in line.
Yeah, you usually have to wait a little bit.
Because you guys had a big banner of yours, like you and Adam outside the convention center. Did that make it easier to get to the front of the line? Did you get to cut?
We get to cut a little bit. We usually get to take a look at the games behind the scenes, so we really get a good impression of like what they're about.
Jade Empire, the biggest game?
Jade Empire. This is from BioWare. It's the same people that made Knights of the Old Republic, and they can do so much with games now that you can it's another one of the games where what the decisions you make in the beginning, of course, affect the outcome of the game, who you are. But this time it's martial arts, and you can switch martial arts styles in the middle, and you can use weapons.
Is this a massively multiplaer game,
no,
or is this an RPG?
You're going to play it on your Xbox. It's an RPG. It's very similar to the Knights of the Old Republic, but this time Hong Kong style. And the whole time you're trying to get revenge, sweet revenge always.
On your father, your sister, your cousin,
well, someone, hurt your family, and you have to get even. And 40 hours later, I'm sure you will.
Speaking of 40 hours later, Legend of Zelda is back.
Legend of Zelda,
What's up with that?
Last year, Wind Waker, it was very cutesy and very cel-shaded, this, little adventure. Well, Link got all grown up. I guess if you count 14 as all grown up. But this time, he's going to come. He's on a horse, and he's grown up. We're about to see him here. Link's hot, basically, is all I have to say about this thing. The people have been waiting for Link to grow up, and he's finally grown up.
He's having puberty anyway.
Yeah, and you still have your horse combat. You still have those little hiccups when you swing the sword that first when you're playing Wind Waker, you find a little weird, but then you get used to them, and it's such a part of the game. It's an action-adventure game. You're swinging. Did
you get a chance to play that? Did it actually look like that, or was that the movie renders?
The only thing anyone's really seen of it is that trailer.
So one of those classic,
it's brand new. You should have seen the press conference when they showed Link. Everyone was screaming and cheering. Yay, Link! It was a gamer moment.
It was exciting.
Yes.
Speaking of gamer moments, Final Fantasy 12.
Yes, people begged for Final Fantasy 12. Last year, all they showed us was a poster. This year, we have a trailer. Most of it's cutscenes. It takes place in the world of Ivalice, which is the same place as Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Which means you also have, bunny women and lizard men and
there's all sorts of funky stuff going on.
Things. So really all we've seen is the cutscenes. I can't tell you anything about the plot because they haven't really told us anything, but it's going to be a little bit more of an action adventure. It's still going to be an RPG, people. It's okay, but it's a little more of an
People at
action.
home are going, what?
It's but instead
Final
of
Fantasy
like,
12, the deathmatch version.
yeah, but instead of like stopping down and having
Right.
battles, it flows a little bit better.
That's cool.
So it's going to be cool, and of course the cutscenes are going to be gorgeous, and of course people are going to buy it no matter what. But we
Right.
kind of have high hopes for it.
Speaking of stuff people will buy no matter what, Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4.
How
yes.
is this game still alive?
People like the zombies, but these are not actually zombies, but
Right.
they're sort of. Basically, they're fast-moving zombies. They fixed the camera angle problems. They have context-sensitive buttons, so you can like run and do things like that. It's a faster-paced game. You use analog controls, which
You
is
actually,
amazing.
this is like the first Resident Evil that you've liked, I think.
And exploding zombie heads. I mean, do I really have to say any more?
Apparently.
The graphics are gorgeous. There's
Oh.
some weird priest thing going on. There's some weird cult thing. We don't exactly know the plot 'cause we haven't seen like too much of what's going on, but it looks
It has
gorgeous.
great promise.
And people are pretty excited about it. Me, not exactly as excited about the scary games.
Right.
But other people like them.
But you like
So
the
I wanted to
exploding
bring
zombie
them
heads we
to
noticed.
yeah.
Link in an exploding zombie head. Morgan's a
Link's hot
happy
exploding
camper.
zombie heads. What more do you really want?
Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Webb. Be sure to check in for the next episode of X-Play, 8 p.m. Pacific tonight. Thanks, Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
Right now, let's check in with Dan. He's got an announcement for us. Dan?
I sure do.
There he is, off in the corner. Dan, you got to quit hiding, buddy.
I am sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I have some cool news for you. If you haven't heard yet, the G4 Tech TV Digital Digs Roadshow is heading to Louisville, Kentucky. Now, which is happening this weekend. Come on out and meet Unscrewed's Martin Sargent and Laura Swisher at the St. Matthews Mall on Saturday, June 12th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sunday, June 13th from noon till 5. Now, for more information on this roadshow and future ones, go to g4techtv.com/digitaldigs. Now, coming up after the break, how do you close out BitTorrent files when your download is finished, or not finished in this case? I'm going to show you how to do it next when the Screensavers continue.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. We're going to showcase an amazing home theater PC made of a wood acrylic case, and we're going to show you a free spam filter to help you conquer spam once and for all. Plus, you need help buying the right digital camera? Well, we're going to help you understand the differences between 8, 4, and 2 megapixel cameras. It's all coming up on tomorrow's edition of the Screensavers.
Excellent. Now, John joins us on the phone from Chicago, Illinois. Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going, Kevin?
Good.
Pat? Everybody?
Excellent. How can we help you tonight, John?
Well, I've been a big fan of the BitTorrents and everything since Kevin showed them back on, and I used it to download all the videos from The Broken.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, very cool. And I was just downloading some game stuff the other day, and it was going extremely slow, so I decided to cancel. And now I got 2 little things on my desktop from the files I was downloading,
Right.
and I can't delete them.
Okay.
So you want to explain what BitTorrent is for those
For everybody
who aren't
else,
in the know?
Let's do it. BitTorrent is an application that you install, and it's basically a companion to Internet Explorer or any type of browser that you have. And what you do is you click on .torrent files. They'll be available on the web. And it allows you to pull information from multiple sources on the web. So if you're downloading a Red Hat ISO, let's say Red Hat just put out the latest version of Linux, everyone's hitting the servers at the same time, so it slows down the servers, but you want to get it faster. You load up BitTorrent, and you click on the torrent file, and it will pull from the people that are also downloading it. So you're sharing the resources, you're splitting it up, and it allows, in theory, to speed up your downloads and to actually take bandwidth away from the server. I used it for The Broken because when I sent out the announcement, there were so many people trying to download it once that it would drop my servers. It would just take them offline. So what I did is I put it on BitTorrent, and that way people could all share at the same time. I actually had like 3,000 or 4,000 people downloading it at a single time, all sharing with each other. Now, what you did, John, is you were trying to download something, and you canceled the download. The cool thing about BitTorrent is it saves the information so that if you decide to resume later on, you can just click on the link, and it'll take over where it left off. But you're saying that what type of error are you getting when you try to delete it? Is it saying like files in use or something like that?
Yeah, it says error deleting file or folder. It's being used by another person or program. Close any programs that might be you might be using the file and try again.
That's annoying.
Another cool thing about BitTorrent, though, is that when you do close the BitTorrent window, in theory, it's supposed to stop the transfer. It stops all the P2P sharing. And that's
so
it.
It's not a situation where, like, every time John restarts his computer, other people are logging in and trying to look at that or use that file.
Exactly. Although I have heard, now, John, you'll have to tell me where you download this, because I have heard that, BitTorrent is open source, and there have been people that actually have taken this code, modified it, put in certain different back-end engines, and actually re-released it. I've heard of adware and spyware and all kinds of nasty things being bundled, so it's very important that you download it from the actual BitTorrent author. Did you pull it from the BitTorrent author?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Okay, now as far as deleting it, have you tried going into safe mode?
No.
Okay, you can. One way I would definitely recommend is go into safe mode with command prompt. You do that. You running Windows XP?
Yeah, professional.
Okay, reboot your machine. I'm sure you know how to do this. Hit F8 when it says starting Windows. Choose safe mode with command prompt. It'll take you to a raw command prompt. Use some old school DOS commands. Change directory to the folder. Use delete, space the name of the files, delete all the files, and you should be good to go.
Okay.
That's definitely the way to do it. It just seems like some type of application, something is sitting in the background that is holding on to these files, that keeps them open, and that prevents you from deleting them. In this case, that would be the easiest way to get rid of them.
And that's not something that's specific to BitTorrent, almost any application.
Right.
Because some days, if you shut it down wrong, it can make it almost impossible to yank a file off your desktop.
You're exactly right. That's the biggest way that this happens, is a program will illegally shut down the wrong way.
Or crash.
And then that actually leaves the files open, and that's how you run into
Something is
problems.
using this application. No, nothing is using this.
Yeah.
So.
If it was Linux, it would be so much easier. You could just kill the file, it'd be done deal. RM-RF, done deal. But Windows, not so good.
Good luck, John.
Thanks, John. Now, here is Leo with another quick tip. Leo?
A little more help for webmasters today. I'm going to show you how to make an automatically refreshing page. This is useful for a couple of reasons. Let's say you change the link, but you want people, and people are still going to the old link, you want people to kind of move to the new link automatically. You can use the meta tag refresh to automatically change the page and go to a new URL. I use it for my spy cams to automatically reload the picture every few seconds. The key tag is this tag, meta http equiv refresh. It's a refresh tag, and the content is 10. That means every 10 seconds, update this page. Now you'll notice there are actually quite a few more lines to these meta tags. These are the key ones, and what they're doing, they're not required, but they're helpful, is telling the browser, please don't cache this information. So I'm expiring the information. I'm saying it was last modified 0 seconds ago. I'm saying don't cache. I'm saying revalidate each time. These things will override browser settings. Sometimes people will come to your site and say, hey, your picture never changes, because they've set their browser never to check to see, the cache to see if there's new content. By doing this, you'll invalidate the cache and say, browser, you check. There's a new picture. Every 10 seconds, whether you want it or not. If you want to refresh and go to a new site, you can actually add a command to go to a different URL. I use that one also when people go to the incorrect link on my site. It's all on the web page. We've got the details, thescreensavers.com. Refresh. It's so refreshing. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Laporte. Now, stay where you are, because we're going to be checking our inbox. I'll print out. This is all the emails. We're going to be going through a lot of them when the Screensavers continues.
It's that time. Sarah, what's in the email bag?
Well, the first one comes from Dan Purdy, not this Dan. He says, I burned an Apple 4.7 gigabyte DVD-R on a G4 using OS X. The file on it's a high-quality QuickTime movie, but I put in the DVD into my PC running XP, and now it can't read it. Is there a driver I can download to help solve my problem?
What if I can see the file?
Well, most likely he's seeing the file. The problem is probably the codecs that are installed. You want to make sure that you have